of all, we're gonna start off by saying thank you to everyone for logging in and tuning in to today's show. Because it's the Refuse to Lose show, and we want to thank our sponsors again.
Koonce Jeweler, definitely. We in the house right now. We in the throne where all the magic happens when you want to get that jewelry done right. Come on down to Koonce Jewelry in Mount Vernon. Then we got
Superior Natural Spring Water.
Yes.
It's best when it's cold.
That's right. Sit here while you're looking for some diamonds, some nice cold ice diamonds to have that superior water.
That's right.
You know what I mean? And if that's not good enough for you, you can always switch on over to that Rowdy Punch.
And Rowdy Wasted.
Get Rowdy Wasted.
Right. And then we have Stay Motivated.
Yes.
And then we just added a new sponsor.
And I believe that is Tokyo
Butter. Right.
Yeah, get your Tokyo butter, yo.
That's right. Get your Tokyo butter, lip chat. You don't call it lip balm, you call it lip chat. Right. That means your lips are chapped, and you need something to moisturize your joint.
And that butter do you just right.
But today's show, we are with Koonce Jeweler. We're going to talk to him in a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to see what we got cooking over here. We got some
nice things going on. Nice
things, man. Nice things.
And also, we're going to talk about how COVID is affecting the business.
Yes. We can get that information straight from the horse's mouth. You know, he's a business owner, and we definitely want to touch base with him and see how that touched him and see how that affected his finances and see what we can do to get some revenue in here. You know what I mean? Right. We gotta definitely support our brother. He's doing the big things, and he got, there's not too many black-owned jewelers you see. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna introduce you to this gentleman right here. Let you know what it's like to, have a successful black-owned business. You know what I'm saying? This is something that, like I said, normally black people don't get into. You know what I'm saying? You can see the diamonds, right? And he knows his craft, so. We're gonna burn his ear a little bit, get a little information, but so
I want to say thank you for being a guest on our show today, and I'd like you to really introduce yourself and explain, people what you're doing and what you're about. All right, and this is the Refuse to Lose show, and I'm gonna give you the mic to do your thing.
I'm letting everyone know who I am, right?
Yes, sir.
I'm just Koonce.
Got you.
Now, I do a lot of things, though, and I guess that's the reason why we have an interview. But I'm just Warren Koonce. Sometimes they call me Koonce the Jeweler. Or they just call me D, or they just call me Koonce. But like the brother was saying, I was hearing you speak. I am a jeweler, and I'm black, and I'm very proud of both.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm very thankful that you guys took your time out to have me on your show, and I think that's a blessing for me. And what was the other question?
How is COVID affecting you, and what are you doing different because of COVID to help with your sales and stuff?
Am I getting deep?
Yes.
You speak the truth.
I'm a truth teller.
First of all, we on Raw Truth Radio.
Raw Truth
Radio.
How long you been in business?
Me and what you were just talking about. That I've been in business. Actually, I've been a jeweler for 18 years.
Okay.
But I've been a businessman for about 35.
Okay.
I started.
And he's only like 32.
And I'm about 31. But I've been in business as a jeweler for 18 years, but I started early. I was packing bags. I got to get credit for all that stuff.
Remember those
people
days?
Don't remember those days, right?
Remember those days.
I know a lot of times I listen to people say when they started their business, but I like to get credit. My resume, I said resume, I had a paper route. I packed bags. I waited in front of the building and carried bags upstairs. And I froze Kool-Aid and made ices, brought the penny candy to school. So I've probably been a businessman all my life, but I've been a jeweler for 18.
Got you.
So okay, no, go ahead.
No, I was gonna let you were gonna go back to the question about how I succeeded in the
Yeah,
business.
we definitely want to know. We want to pick your brain and see how how your business is affected by the COVID. You know,
Yes.
we know a lot of small businesses, you know, it's been affected by this disease. You know, people haven't been able to come out, see the shop, and
Yes.
see the merchandise, and you know they scared.
Yes.
And then now we in this period where we transitioning from, you know, new president from the old president. So
Yes.
things are starting to loosen up a little bit, as we found out earlier today. But we want to get your insight on
Yes.
see what it is that affected you and how it's, you know, dealt with you. You know, how did you deal with
Yes.
it?
I said that's a lot, but that's the type of questions I like to answer because as a jeweler, I consider myself to be the jeweler to the people, and I made it like that on purpose.
Okay.
So you asked the question about as far as how we're able to still maneuver within COVID. As you can see, optics are very important because, like I was telling Kobe when he first walked in, I take COVID really serious because I know that it's a killer. And it's unfortunately it's taken the lives of people that I've been close to, and it actually almost killed my dad. So, you know, I know how serious it is. That's why people want to, in regards to me, and still being able to be open as far as to conduct business. People want to know that you're being safe and you're putting them first. So during COVID, it forced me to kind of maneuver in a different way. I kind of made everything more personal. Everything is by appointment.
Okay.
You know, we have the shield up. I get tested at least 3 times a week. You know what I'm saying? Because, and people need to see that. You know, I wear my mask. I mean, I don't have a mask on now because we have the screen up. And it worked to my advantage because when you're selling jewelry, people like to feel exclusive.
Right.
So if they know that they can come to a particular jewelry place, like my establishment, and they know that they can get that one-on-one and then treat it like a human being who I'm building a relationship with, because, you know, most jewelers, that's not their interest, it's only money. Right. I'm in the business of making money, but this has forced me a little bit further to connect with the client, because it shows, you know, if I'm going to go through all these things to, you know, still make business and make money, I can at least make a safe environment. So that's been really key. I correlated both. Exclusive, you know, top shelf service, one-on-one, but at the same time, COVID kind of purposely created that lane for me and its benefit, because basically anyone who comes to the shop, they're buying. So that's how, that makes me smile.
Exactly.
Versus, you know, the same would say window shoppers. I don't have a problem because window shoppers usually turn into buyers, but it's usually good to know like no one time is being wasted. So COVID has hurt us, you know, as a society as a whole, but it actually helped me as a businessman because this is the best I've ever did since I've been in business. And I feel I've done my numbers, but like me and what you were speaking, you know, in terms of going to the real aspect of what we're speaking, a lot of times people create this figment of imagination, saying that just because things are scary outside, that they still can't hustle. You could do whatever you want to do as long as you move responsible. So I've been using that to my benefit. Just be careful, which I'm always careful. I'm a very sanitary, I'm a very neat and clean person. So I've really just been moving the same way that I've always moved, and it's a cultural thing anyway. And I'm sure you guys can attest to it. Most people like me who come from the hood, one of the main things we have is our cleanliness.
That's
You
right.
know what I'm saying? So, you know, you will always find that in a lot of black-owned business that is very clean, and about, you know, giving people their space. You know, so it's almost like culturally, I've been able to benefit during the COVID because that's how I lived my life. And you know, I give you a quick example. Me and my moms and my family, we were at IHOP, and I was telling my mother, you know, I wanted to open up another business for the family, which has to be a coffee shop. And my mother was like, you know, giving an analogy, and in terms of the question you asked, my mother said, "How are we going to do that?" They said the government said we can't open up businesses because we got to stay inside. And I said, "Mom, look around you. We're in IHOP." You know, so the mindset is training us to kind of remain stagnated while the world is still moving. The world is still moving. So that's what if anything that people would get from us speaking on your show is that to let them know the world is still moving. We're moving with caution, and you know, you're moving with caution. You're able to just get rid of all the noise, and you're just able to do exactly what you're supposed to do.
Focus is a little bit better.
Focus is a little is zoned in a little bit more, and that equals to dollars instead of all of the hoopla and you know the fake posting and all the nonsense. You're in business to make money, and me, I'm in business to make money and build relationships. So that's how COVID has helped me as far as a business aspect. I know a lot of people don't say that, but I gotta be honest. At first, I was afraid to say that because it's like in a time where so many people are doing bad and you're quote unquote doing good. You're afraid to speak on it.
Yep,
but people need to hear that because then when you think about it, like look what you guys are doing. I know you guys are still doing your show, you know, and people are tuning in. Whatever you guys had to do to remix it, but you're still doing your thing. So people gotta understand you can do your thing, but you just gotta move cautiously and remove too much. It's not too much fear that you can include in that. You be cautious, but don't be too afraid. Because if you don't do it, people out here, they're making money.
That's true.
Making a lot of money actually, because there's nobody outside. So we still gotta buy our beverages. We still gotta shop. We still gotta clothing.
Still gotta eat.
We still gotta eat.
That's right.
So it's like
those essentials are still there.
it's still there.
Yeah.
So let me ask you about your ice cream truck, because usually summer be booming for you.
Yes.
So how was it this year that passed that, you know, because of all of this?
Yes.
Did you even still open up? Did you still bring it out?
Actually, it was like I stated earlier, is one of the best years I've ever had.
Wow.
And being in the business of ice cream, you know, I have Koonce ice cream, and that's a good humor truck that I have, and I've been in that business for 5 years. But it isn't until COVID where I decided to do an Instagram, which is Koonce ice cream, and not only that, I had more parties, you know, pulling up, you know, because like you said, brother, people are just so in tune in what they want to do. So the opportunity is there.
Wow, ice cream. So
Yeah, you know,
big.
ice cream, you know, it all goes.
it's making.
But it goes back to your point of to let people know you have big opportunities to do what you got to do if you really trying to go for it. It's not for everybody.
That's true.
Definitely not, and I don't fret anyone or question, and I'm giving my answer. The biggest lie that's being told that is not out there, and it's out there in abundance. Just gotta find the lane.
That's true.
You know, so many people are doing way better than they've done in years as far as the retail aspect. You know, me and Butch, we had a big conversation before I came over here, and that's exactly what's going on. People are realizing what their work value is, and people are finding those great price points in these big corporations. They didn't look out for people, but people looked out for each other.
Yeah, you know, it's so crazy you say that, because you see that now. You got big retail stores that's closing. You got Models that shut down. You got more than Taylor's that's going out of business. You know what I'm saying? And those are stores that you would think that would never go out of business because they got so much merchandise and they got so much that they can offer the public when it comes to retail.
Agreed.
And it's crazy. They folded like
they didn't want to lower their prices.
No, they definitely didn't want to put anything on sale.
Yeah, but you know what's funny? I found out today is because I was in Lord & Taylor today doing a little shopping, and I asked the lady, I said, yo, you know, I want to get a bottle of cologne, looking for some Chanel Blue. She's going to buy an extra bottle. And she's like, oh no, Chanel pulled out as soon as we went bankrupt. So that means the company just off the cuff was like, you know, oh, you're going out of business? No, give us back our merchandise. We don't even want it to go on sale. You know what I'm saying? So that to me is like crazy. I didn't know companies can do that.
Wow.
But it's just amazing how you see most companies that are that large, they are folding. And they're folding day by day by day. But we know we go contribute that to
Hot tea, cold water.
Mr. Dumb Donald. I believe that's, you know, but yeah, so a lot of but a lot of small businesses haven't been lasting. You see a lot of restaurants and closing down. You know, it's like this city's about to be a ghost town when it comes to small business. So, you know, it's interesting to see, you know, the insight on how, you know, yourself,
Yes.
how you stay afloat, and you keep, and it's actually progressing. You're doing better than you would probably be doing if we didn't have this epidemic going on.
Yeah, because you got to be innovative, and you know how, you know, how the realness is always going to supersede the fake.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of those businesses, you know, that have crumbled, they weren't really doing what they were supposed to do. It was a lie.
That's
From experience. That's what I'm seeing. A lot of people, you know, a lot of times I use references, but a good friend of mine is Kmart. One time I was doing a couple of pop-up shops in Miami, and we were going back and forth about the likes that you have, like on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, you know, Koonce, I'm having the biggest problem. I can't, you know, get my likes up and my followers up. And I said, but are you making sales? And he says, yes. I said, that's what you're in the business of doing. You're not in the business of getting likes or followers. So if you could put a post up, and you know, I tell this to anybody who's watching your show, preferably people coming up, if you can have an Instagram or Facebook and you only got 100 followers, and you put up a post and you only get 15 likes, but 2 of those people buy your product, you're doing better than a person who got 1 million likes.
That's true.
Because all they got is likes.
That's it. And there's no revenue there.
And you know, and I want to continue to promote that. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I told my boy Kmart, you know, you know, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna have your ups and downs, but the likes are not real. Not to say like social network is not real as far as marketing,
Right.
but as far as what me and him do,
Right.
organic cash that is coming from your sales. You know, of course, you want the likes if it makes you feel good personally, but you really prefer someone using your service.
Right.
And that's how I feel about a lot of the businesses that you ask. A lot of those are that's phantom success. That's what I call it. It's not really successful. It's not successful just because people are calling your name and you're selling a product. It's successful when you're selling a product, because that's how you stay afloat.
It's a value product at that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm just looking at the sign. It says every day I'm hustling.
Yes.
Sounds
every day, man. You know.
Sounds like you have to be that way.
I was born into that.
Well, that's what I was going to touch, even though you hit a little bit on it.
Yes.
Your Miami trips, every year. You're in Miami, every year you got a launch. How was it this year? Did you even do it?
I actually did it. And I did it for 2 reasons. Because for one, you know, you always got to perform. If that's what you're doing, it's more personal. And then the main reason I go out to Miami the same time of the year is because, of course, we can show it. You know, my brother Earl, we always have a memorial launch for him.
Right.
Because we started together. So that's going to happen with or without anyone, even if I went out there by myself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things. You know, people say, you know, you can't mix business and personal. You know, people say that. It's always personal for me, because that's just been the key to my success. But honestly, the Miami thing has always been good to me, because like this show we're doing, right?
Yeah.
And your viewers, they hear the good music, they see the good vibe, they want to reach out and touch us. Miami's still going to be always one of the most beautiful places with some of the best memories you're going to have. So I found out a way to associate that with me. And believe it or not, you know, I go to Miami, you know, and I'm telling all the secrets. I go to Miami, I come home, people want to touch me. They want to know what was it like? How's the weather? Like, you know, who did you see? How was the food? You know, what was the vibe? And that's been a winning formula.
Miami is a beautiful place.
It's a beautiful place, you know. I did it, you know, we did Vegas, Miami, you know, DC, Houston, Atlanta, you know, Canada, a bunch of different places, but what always reigns supreme is always Miami, because you can, you know, there's something in the air, obviously.
Yeah.
That mist, you know, there's something there. There's something going on. Something, I don't know what it is. So,
Miami,
you know, I associate that with my brand, because it's where it started. It's in terms of good times, and that's where I got a lot of success. There are a lot of pop-up shops out there.
Okay.
You know, it's just the environment. People love it. Like right now, when I went and did it, I just did a pop-up shop, all special invite. It was on a small level, and people loved it. They appreciated it, because the work, the hard work, the ethic. People still appreciate that.
Gotcha.
You know. did it for myself, but
Right.
for my followers also.
Yeah.
You know.
So I'm gonna let DJ Next Level get into another mix, and then we're gonna come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
You mind, cool?
Go.
And this is basically for a lot of kids out there, my 15-year-old son being one of them.
Yes.
Did you know what you wanted to do at a young age? Were you guided towards a certain career path? Did you always know you wanted to be a jeweler? Was someone in your family a jeweler?
Right.
Was your family member a business person? Like when did you know exactly what you wanted to do?
That's a very, very good question. That's a good question. You know, it's an explosive question too, because I know that I wanted to do whatever it is was going to be able to make my father and my grandmother and my parents happy. I didn't necessarily be, what I wanted to do, as per se, to be a jeweler.
Yeah.
But I do know that I was, and I could be honest, like I said, we can be honest. I knew I was very impressed with people who were able to do whatever they wanted to do. Whether it been like the athletes, because we come from the same neighborhood, or I say drug dealers not because of the things that they did, but it always seemed like they were the ones who can do whatever they wanted to do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just talking about the type of behavior. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because I don't promote that.
Right.
I don't promote that at all. I've always was interested in people who can do whatever they wanted to do. So that's why I said, just to pack the bags and all those things, because I realized if I have money, I don't gotta ask my people for money, my family for money, and they won't be on my back on getting a job. And then I realized, you can still make your paper as long as you're being actually productive, and your parents will still help you. So I went to college with to get a career, but I used to love watches, G-Shocks in particular. And with all my allowance, I used to always buy a watch. So every time the watch used to break, stop working, I never knew we just needed a new battery.
Right.
So one day my grandmother, picture up here, she got fed up and she's like, yo, you do whatever you want to do with this money, but this is all you're getting. So I said, damn, I got to figure it out. And I just opened up a watch, and I realized it was the battery. And right there, I knew that I loved watches. But I didn't know that I was going to work on watches.
Right.
But I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur real early, because it was so appealing, because most people are entrepreneurs in our hood. But I just did not know that I was going to be a jeweler. So I went to college and all of those other things for my family.
Gotcha.
I really didn't do none of that for myself.
Right.
And I have a master's degree, and I'm not telling especially if your son is listening, I'm not telling them not to listen to what dad says, because I'm sure dad puts a positive message to be positive. But, sometimes, I'll be honest with you, college ain't necessarily for everyone.
I
But
100% agree with you.
But
I
being
agree.
productive is.
Yeah.
And it
College-
teaches you that.
Being productive is.
Especially if you know what you want
If
at,
you know
that,
what you
at
want.
that age, and you have a dream and you have a plan.
Yes.
More so. So I'm not pushing my son towards college. I'd love for him to go to
I would
college, get
love.
the experience, get the
Yes,
education.
please.
If he want to play ball, that's fine. But if he knows what he wants to do and wants to get started, in
Yes.
his choice of career,
Start
whatever
early.
it may be, I got it.
Because we're seeing, Butch, honestly, we're seeing so many young kids that are extremely talented in areas like what we're doing. And it's a walk in the park for
They don't
them.
need to go
Yep.
to college.
They don't even need to go to college.
That's
and,
right.
and like I repeat, I promote college. I promote it, but I also promote being productive. It's something that you're a genius at.
And educated in it.
And educated.
Because if you need to go to college to become
Yeah.
more proficient at whatever
Yes.
you're choosing, examples of doctors and lawyers,
Yes.
those are the paths that you need.
Yes.
But if you have a vision on a
Yeah.
product or on a service, and that's what you want to do, then lay out the foundation, get educated on what
Yeah.
it's going to take to do it, and do it.
And that's
So I agree with you 100%.
No, you're right, and I'm glad you asked that question, because I didn't necessarily know that I was gonna be a jeweler, ice cream truck owner,
Right.
or to real estate,
Right.
amongst a lot of other things I do. But I did know that I was gonna be productive,
And self-employed.
And self-employed.
And that's something that you really didn't touch upon. I want to kind of shout out the Daily News for making a lot of us uptown dudes
Mhm.
have our first job and realize
Yeah.
what it took to make money.
Mhm.
If you if you didn't go out and deliver them papers, you wasn't getting paid.
Is it true?
That's the bottom line.
Yes.
And then once you started doing that regularly and making money, we started learning how to manage money at young ages.
Yep.
And like you said, managing your time as far
Yeah.
as your own time and your work time.
Own time and
So
work
we
time.
didn't realize it then, D, but it was embedding self-entrepreneurship in us.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
You didn't know what you don't know how to identify what it is.
You
don't know what it is, and I think more than ever, you know, the younger generation, like you said, your son and the generation after that, they're understanding that because they've kind of been forced into that box. I think they've been forced into that box to go for this.
Yeah.
You know, so we just gotta keep the phantom stuff away and be continue to be real about we're in business to make money, but we're not in business to sell our soul because our souls is never for sale.
And that's
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
what a lot of people need to learn. You
And,
know, not to sell their soul for the dollar.
Yes.
You know,
Great question.
That was crazy. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that answer, man. All right, cool.
Yeah, I want you to get into a DJ Next Level mix, and when we come back, I want to play a little game. Let's see if you're pretty good.
I'm probably good.
Yeah. On our
I
TV
play too much.
show songs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
All right.
All right, this song right here, I mean, I got 10 million songs, but this song right here is from my man D. Koonce. Make sure y'all come support this brother.
Let's go.
You gon' ride with us, you ready or what? You gon' ride with us, you ready or what? You gon' ride with us, you ready or what?